And Are You Okay is a not safe for work podcast, so any young listeners are discouraged from continuing. However, we literally have no way to track that, so do whatever the hell you want and enjoy the show.
I'm ready. No, you ain't. You see, I don't know why. Anytime someone fucking says that, all I can think of is the SpongeBob episode where it's like Extreme and Sandy like won't let SpongeBob like not do the like physical activities with him, but it's literally driving him insane. So he hides under Patrick's rock, and they go on that like insane goose chase. And he's like, "I found SpongeBob," and he squishes one of the fish into like a squid.
It's the only place that you can go where you it's a Star Wars podcast, but you get a SpongeBob intro. Only place.
Always.
The range.
You're listening to Annie, Are You Okay?
A Star Wars
podcast. Thank you, Matt. If Trav hasn't caught on already to the fact that it's trying to get a Star Wars podcast in immediately after hearing the name of the podcast, then you're now initiated into this terrible thing that Matt and Siebes do to me, which is just constantly hitting me with the Star Wars podcast.
I guess this thing is the name of the game, baby.
Hey, I think that's how we keep it fun and fresh here on Annie, Are You Okay?
The Star Wars podcast.
Thank you. And we are back with part 2 of our Visions Volume 1.
The Star Wars podcast.
Thank you. Recap. Well, we're going to dive into some of these specials, probably go on with another tangent about 90s shows, hear me trip over myself, say like about 500 times on this episode, and we will, meet you at the end there. But we have May the 4th coming up, so we're trying to get this out, hopefully, on May the 4th with you. So
Inception, you're listening this on May the 4th, so you're welcome.
You're welcome. It's crazy how you plan ahead for this shit, you know?
Right?
Marketing is one hell of a drug.
We don't just drop them immediately?
These aren't done, and as I hit play, that's not y'all getting on mic and saying it to me live.
I kind of wish we had like the sound like thing where you could like press a thing and like everyone hears the soundboard like you guys had back in the ether day.
Yeah.
We do have that. Hold on, I don't know if it works in here. I've never used it.
Can you give me a round of applause, please?
Oh yeah, I got you.
Hold on, wait. I'm gonna open the door and walk in like it's a 90s sitcom.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Just I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna find it. Well, I found it. Hold on. Can y'all let me see if y'all can hear it? Well, do something that's worthy of an applause. Do something that's worthy of an applause.
I just put you on the spot.
Just froze. Give him an applause for that. Give him an applause for that.
There you go. Applause for the silence.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear it?
And it's met with more silence because we didn't hear it.
Yeah, it didn't come through.
Y'all don't hear it? Oh, I hear it.
I'm gonna die if it's actually in the recording, but not in the thing.
just in Matt's file.
Yeah, just in Matt's.
I had it on preview. Wait, hold on. All right, let's try this again. Ron, we're leaving all of this in, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
A Star Wars podcast. All right, let's try this again. All right, let me know if y'all hear it.
I do hear it.
Y'all hear it?
I do hear it. Yeah.
Wow. I feel like I got clapped at for doing nothing, and I feel special now. Maybe a little embarrassed. Oh, stop.
Well,
Get out of here. Get out of here. Is there the fucking...
Oh, no. We got... I hope all this comes through. That would be great.
It better. And if it doesn't, it's gonna be really awkward that I will leave this in here. This is a no cut podcast. All right, keep that one on lock because we make a lot of jokes here.
I got you. I got it.
But yeah, maybe this is, I guess, a huge plug for Riverside.fm, where we record all of our podcasts, Dragonball for Life and Dating Are You Okay, Star Wars podcast.
You son of a bitch.
So
Powered by Riverside FM.
holy shit, that was incredible. Like the comedic timing, my god.
The plug.
bro.
Wow. Okay, well, if we can add sounds to that, maybe we'll start incorporating it into the things, and Matt can be the true producer.
You can upload sounds to this. It says upload audio and video files by dragging them here. Blah 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 blah.
All right, can't wait to
Pretty
have
sure
drops
y'all
for you
can
guys.
probably see this too. Like
Maybe.
the soundboard.
The interface, John.
This part we can cut out, but the rest of it.
No, we have to leave it in. They need to see the creative process at work.
But yeah, if you go over to like the side, like where your box is, like off to the right, at the bottom it should say like people chat and media at the bottom.
Oh, we don't got media, or I don't have it. I have people in
I
chat.
have it. Trav now.
You're
He got it.
I'm not special enough.
They done fucked up.
They did fuck
Giving
up.
me access to this shit.
Trav's gonna be pressing the buttons all episode, but that's okay because you're listening to Ain't Are You Okay, a Star Wars podcast where we're actually gonna talk about Star Wars now. So let's pick. Let's pick up with
I don't know how that one was gonna go. But okay, let's get to it. Let's get to it.
with the
Let's start the
announcing officially. Episode 5 of Star Wars Visions Volume 1, The Ninth Jedi. We talked about this last episode, that we really thought that this one had the potential to have a series around it the most. And Trav, after seeing the entire volume, do you feel that way too? Did you think that this one like really had the meat to it, where like the story was there for them to potentially do a whole series out of something like this?
Yeah, I thought. So I thought the Ninth Jedi, and then also the Elder, but the Elder though was like almost as if they just plopped us in at like the end
middle
of like an arc.
episode 5
Yeah.
and shit.
Yeah. So but the Ninth Jedi though definitely felt the most in terms of they gave you just enough to really make it feel like a good story, but also left you with enough questions where you could have seen a lot of different storylines play out, whether it was before all the they ended up being Sith, but you know, whether it was before where, you know, they showed the Jedi that Juro, was it Jaro or Juro, that Juro, was that his name?
Yeah, I think it was Juro. Yeah.
Juro that when he tried to see if there were any Jedi left in the galaxy, you know, there would be, you could have done like, you know, prequel episodes, you know, showing those Sith, you know, fighting and killing them, or if they're not dead and they're somewhere in the galaxy. But I do think that had the most potential for it to be like a really, really well fleshed out story. I'm not gonna, well, I'll wait till we get to the others, but that one definitely felt the most fleshed out to me, and I just liked it from the start of it to the beginning. Like, it didn't feel like abrupt or like we said, like I said with the Elder, like we were kind of just placed in the middle. Yeah. And also, just real quick, just on the Elder, Dan was hella sweet. Like, he pissed me off that episode.
do your job.
he was rude to his master. Then you know, thought he could take the Elder, got waxed. Like,
We will definitely talk about all of Dan's mistakes as we get to the movie.
he's trash.
That's one of them things. That's one of them things where you like root for the protagonist to get their ass whooped. Like,
Yeah.
you need to catch this fade real quick, bro.
Maybe that's
He
why
like
his master
he
didn't
almost
rush
makes up
the
for
scene.
it too.
Yeah.
Bro, he took his sweet time. He's like, "Nah, you got it, bro."
You're right. It's almost as if like he waited for
trained
him to
for
be
it.
humbled. Like, you know what? Get fucked up real quick. Then show up.
He was just like, I could help him now and have to deal with beating the stubbornness out of him later, or I can let him get his ass whooping.
Right.
And the teacher for me, baby.
So, Trav, I like that you said that you enjoyed the Ninth Jedi from start to finish, because this is the one thing that this episode did that the others didn't, is that it technically includes, like, quote unquote, an opening crawl. It's just narrated. So that's something that, like, I really enjoyed that. It felt kind of like a Clone Wars episode in that aspect, that every Clone Wars episode starts with the narration from Tom Kane, who's the voice actor who does Yoda in that series, and he doesn't do it in Yoda's voice, he just does it in his, like, regular voice.
Not Clone Wars.
Exactly. So it was cool to see that. I definitely enjoyed that aspect of it, and I do want to have some call-outs real quick for some of the actors involved in this. Kimiko Glenn, great job. I didn't actually recognize the first time Simu Liu when this had come out. I don't think Shang-Chi had released yet. So he plays her dad, the guy who's building the lightsabers.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he does a great job.
Sabersmith.
Yeah, and then kind of a deep cut, but someone who's, like, within the Star Wars family. A lot of people don't know this, but are you guys familiar with the TV show Heroes that came out in, like, the early 2010s?
Hayden Panettiere?
Of course.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
Well, Hiro Nakamura himself, Masioka.
That was the time traveler, right?
Yes, so the guy who could stop time and do stuff. So he actually worked on the Star Wars prequels as a visual artist. So he was, like, doing some of the 3D animation, like, back in the day. That was his career prior to becoming an actor for Heroes.
That's dope.
And I think
where you been at? I feel like I used to see him.
I know, right?
in
I need
shit.
to see him in more shit because I really enjoy him as an actor. He did a great job in Heroes, one of the highlights of that show for me. But he comes back to voice a character in this, so I feel like it's a kind of a full circle moment for him to, you know, really embrace his culture as well, because I do believe he's Japanese, and you know, be in a Star Wars anime, having worked on it previously, and then, like, having his own journey as an actor and coming back to this. I thought it was really cool. He's the one who ignites the lightsaber first and has the blue blade. So he's, like, kind of like the one Jedi that shows up that's not a Sith. Is who he portrays.
The boy Ethan.
I do believe it's Ethan. Yeah.
You imagine that moment, like, you light up, it's blue, and everybody else is red. You're like, fuck.
Oh yeah.
Y'all the ops.
You retract your shit. You're like, oh, like,
Yeah, right.
act like you didn't light up, but like, oh, mine ain't working. Mine ain't working, guys. Mine ain't working, fellow dark side users. I don't know.
Blue. Nah, I did some evil shit. I didn't even hold the door open for the people when I was walking in. Like, I don't pick up my dog's shit. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
It's like
It's like, please clean up after your dog. Like, I'm so evil.
I blatantly disregard it.
You know what? That's almost like a representation of you with all your friends thinking that they were all liberals, and then they all pull out their election ballots, and it was all Trump. You put up the black square on Instagram. What the fuck? Like, sorry. Like,
Black eyed.
They ignite it, and in the red it says MAGA.
right?
Facts. Mega facts. But yeah, that's that part of the anxiety that he must have felt. He's like, yeah, like, that's it for me.
Right. And he was the
That's a wrap
weakest
on
of them all.
That's a wrap on Ethan, guys.
It almost felt, and I know he was helping out. What's her name? The young girl that was fighting the other Sith. But, like, it seemed almost as if the whole time he was kind of just watching. Like, yo, my man, like, she taking on like 5 grown men. What are you doing?
She's a real Jedi. I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, I think it's funny that she can't get the lightsaber to, like, fully, like the blade to, like, really, I guess, quote unquote, ignite. Like, it's there, obviously, but it's like, it hasn't embiggened yet. But the thing that's, like, interesting about it is that she's a better fighter than half the people there.
Yeah.
Yet, like, the
I
saber
hope so.
hasn't, like, acknowledged her, like, a connection with the Force. So it is kind of interesting. Kimiko Glenn, who is, I don't know if you guys watched Orange is the New Black, but she's from that, and I think she did a great job. I'd actually like to see her show up in other Star Wars animated projects or live action. Honestly, I just think that she did a really good job in this episode. I'm gonna champion all of these actors to be in Star Wars more, because, like, I love Simu Liu as well. Like, definitely put him in Star Wars, please.
He's a dope guy. That's a crazy to put on your resume that's like your first movie role.
Yeah, right.
Like that's like set the bar very high, sir.
And now he's about to be in Barbie. Shit's gonna blow up.
I'm not gonna hold you. Yeah, with
Yeah.
Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, Issa Rae. It's like mad people in it. I'm not gonna hold you.
Is it a live action or like a?
It is a live
It is,
action.
yeah.
When I first heard they was making a Barbie movie, I was just like, oh, cash grab. I don't want to see this shit.
And then I saw the trailer and I was like,
yeah, they got my attention.
Oh, it actually looks alright.
No, that shit actually looks fire.
it
bro.
looks funny.
Okay.
Like once I found out that Ryan Gosling was gonna be in it, I was like, he makes anything good. So I was just like, sign me up. And then I saw the trailer. I was like, all right, yeah.
The marketing is like she's Barbie and he's just Ken. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's funny, man.
Okay.
Like,
No, it looks.
I'll have
Good.
to check the trailer.
It looks
Yeah,
good.
I think it's gonna be
There's a
funny.
couple of them out, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. Never where you thought you heard that.
Yeah.
Right.
I saw that Barbie movie coming out. You know what that's gonna be? That's gonna be mad like secret water cooler talk amongst men.
Oh, yeah.
Only when you with other guys that you feel like would have seen. Like, yo, y'all saw that Barbie joint? You know what it is? That's gonna be the Ethan moment when he lit up his blue lightsaber. You like, yo, y'all see that Barbie? Like, nah, I ain't see that Barbie. Like, yeah, me neither, bro. I was just asking. I was just asking.
See, Matt,
little temp check.
you have a good intro. You respect. So I took my daughters to see that new Barbie movie.
I don't even know if that's like a kids movie.
I know.
Or like a little adult.
well, you can play it off. Well, you know,
Y'all thought it was a kids
yeah,
movie.
right. I actually, you know, I can't recall if I saw the trailers or not, but you know, I said it's Barbie. What could go wrong? But then I was like, whoa. So it was an adult movie. So what did you guys think of it?
Nah, I ain't gonna hold you. So like, on Disney Plus, they got like all the old school Disney Junior shows, like Bear in the Big Blue House, Roly Poly Oly, PB and J Otter, and I definitely be watching them, John. So sometimes, you know, like if I fall asleep to it and then I like leave for work or whatever, if I come back, if one of my peoples come over and like we want to play the game, that shit pops up. I'm like, my kids are watching TV again.
Hey man, ain't nothing wrong with Roly Poly Oly.
Nah, Roly Poly Oly's that shit, bro.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Listen, man, I don't even have kids, and I've been thrown on Bluey sometimes. So.
For real.
Look, Bluey's a smash. It's a bop. Bluey is a bop. So the Ninth Jedi.
It's really, the action's great. I don't really have much else to say about it. I think we can move on to my probably least favorite, even over Tatooine Rhapsody. But if you guys have anything more positive that you want to talk about,
I wonder why I was placed fifth. That's my guess would be like if I had to critique or criticize, because it's the longest episode. In my opinion, it's head and shoulders the best episode. I guess smacking in the middle was a interesting choice to me.
Maybe to like, because I feel like the Village Bride is strong, and they probably wanted to follow it up with another strong one.
I feel like they kept anime styles, or I'm sorry, art styles close to each other. Because like the twins, the Village Bride, the Ninth Jedi, and even the TOB one kind of all look the same, like animation style wise. Even the Elder, like the whole, in fact, the whole bottom half.
Well, so the Elder is also done by Studio Trigger.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, we didn't even mention the studio production for the Ninth Jedi. It was Production IG, which I don't know of anything that they've done, but they had like kind of like a unique mix of what felt like pretty modern anime, but the textures involved in the animation felt very old to me, kind of like a Studio Ghibli type thing. I kept thinking like Princess Mononoke, but
I literally just watched that yesterday. That's so
fantastic
weird.
movie. Fantastic.
It's great. Like I literally just watched that last night again for like the millionth time. That's weird. That was creepy. May the fourth be with you.
May the fourth be with you. We matter connected through it surrounds us, binds us. Don't be penetrating me, please.
Whoa, Mark.
Pause.
Whoa. Hey, there we go. Great use.
I knew this was a brilliant idea.
We're officially, I guess, like the three of us when we link up for Star Wars shit. We're a Force Triad. Even though that's
Travis doesn't know what that means.
It's taken by a gang. So for
Travis
Triad,
like,
so Force
gotta
Dyad
watch
is
their
two
sequel movie. Yeah, gotta watch the sequel movies now.
I gotta add it to my ever-growing list.
So allegedly, shout out to Black Bull Suavemente. Shout out to Hood. He's apparently gonna watch all the Star Wars movies on May 4th. We'll see.
Let's go. I would love to hear
it. I believe it when I see it.
Yeah, he gonna be he gonna be Chef Boyardee crisp in the gym. You know.
Hey man,
he gonna have it on in his AirPods and just listen.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Watch it on the phone as he's lifting or running on the treadmill. Just gotta do what you gotta do.
There you go. Well, welcome to the club.
Shout out to
you. TOB, was it TOB1?
Toby?
Yeah, TOB1, Toby. I like the animation style, obviously very Astro Boy, early Mega Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get it. I just didn't have a fun time with this one personally.
Starts and stops there.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go out on a limb and say that, having a mechanized robot that's meant to serve be called Toby's kind of racist, but that's just...
Well, didn't even think of those implications, but now I dislike it even more.
Your name is Toby.
Just saying, thought it was an interesting name choice.
I have to admit, after the Ninth Jedi, I think I just... I think it was because the Ninth Jedi was so, just put together. Mm-hmm. I think for me, after that, I was kind of over just the random stories. And it, the rest of the episodes 6 through 9 kind of just... I was like, all right, I'm going to watch through these. Because, I think I left the Ninth Jedi wanting a show
from that. Yeah.
So when I was just everything else just kind of, I mean, there are different separate side stories, but I feel like leading up to the Ninth Jedi, I was cool with the format, and then afterwards it wasn't as
wanted some consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that.
But
I think it is kind of hard when you're binging it to be how do I take these for what they are without comparing them to the rest of them.
Right.
And it's really hard to do that. It is super hard to do that. I literally just said that I don't like this one pretty much at all. I have notes written down here. There's a few things that I could pull, out of this episode and appreciate, but I've rewatched this volume quite a few times since it's come out, and this is one that I will skip over if I'm going back through.
Right. Yeah.
That's an interesting point that you make, Mike. Had this come out like a regular TV show, like an anthology show, once a week, I think it would have been easier to stomach the different stories because it's once a week. I can sit with the episode and reset binging it is definitely, it's highs and lows.
If they were to do it in
a good point. That's a good point.
One episode a week format, I'd need it to be 40-minute long episodes, or at least a half hour from each of these, because I think that max it caps out at 19 minutes. I'd like to live and breathe with them a bit more. If they were going to do it like that. And I actually think it is kind of weird that they chose... Disney Plus is very... They pick and choose what they want to drop all at once and what they want to dominate their social media news cycle.
They let Marvel be once a week. Everything else comes in a chunk. Marvel and the main Star Wars canon gets 1 week. Everything else, give it to them. Throw it out there. Do y'all? So just a streaming question. Would y'all prefer how they do the batch release, or how they've been doing you'll get half the season now and then the other half in a month, how they did You or Shadow and Bone? There's a couple other shows.
I liked how they did Stranger Things.
Yeah, so you get a bunch of episodes and then you gotta wait a little bit. I don't mind that.
For this show specifically, or just shows?
No, just in general. Because a lot of the big shows now, they won't give you all the episodes on day one.
Mm-hmm.
They'll give you half the season and then the other half in 3 weeks. It's kind of the new thing. I know Netflix is doing it a lot. They've been experimenting with doing that. So
I don't mind that, because I do because I almost feel like sometimes when shows are released in their entirety, it's a race to watch it before some
That's
shit
a good
really
point.
gets spoiled for me. So I do like that, because at least we were just talking about how much content there is out there and how we're told to watch something new each day, and for shows that I really want to watch and like be in the know, be in the conversations with, I just like sometimes I just can't get to the full show within the week. But then like, and then I'm on social media pretty frequently, and like I don't want to like not go on social media just because I don't want to see what people are gonna say or what might spoil it for me. So I do like that, like streaming service starting to break it out, because, and then some people are just dickheads with it. They just want to spoil shit just to get people's reactions and to piss them off, and it's just like, all right, whatever. Like, so I'm for that. I think that, you know, especially now, because it'd be tough to try to do every Wednesdays at 9 p.m. we're posting a new episode, but people know that, it's available, I'm just gonna watch it when I can. It's not the TV days anymore where, if I gotta make sure I can DVR this so I can watch it at a later point, or I gotta see when the next run is coming on so I can watch it. So, you know, if you want to try to limit the access but not necessarily limit the access, but I feel like it just also builds better promotion and better talking points for the shows, because after they release, like for example, Love is Blind, it was the talk of 3 weeks. Now that the reunions drop, when's the last time you heard about Love is Blind? And like, it was a smash hit. It was a smash. Everybody was talking about it. But now that it's done, all right, that's it.
It's the popcorn attention span. Like, it's just
for sure.
And then I move on. Like, all right, what's next?
Right.
I think I said that I liked how Stranger Things did it, but after Travis's little rant there, I actually agree that it's better in chunks, because like, I hate when people do skip to the end of that shit and then just like spoil it immediately, like if I can't get to it right away. Or like, I like the fact that with The Mandalorian specifically, Matt, like, it's fun for us to kind of like live with it for a week and speculate about it as we're going into each episode.
That's facts.
And at least with this, like, they dropped it all at once, and they're going to drop Volume 2 all at once, but it's all the stories don't play into each other, so it's not like you're going to...
Yeah, this is fine for them to just release. But, yeah, for the bigger shows that you know are going to be just getting tried, let me sit with it.
Leave me alone. Stop spoiling shit.
Life is life, and man, it's fucking me up.
Life be life. Because that is definitely like a badge of honor, especially like, I mean, it opened up now more, because, you know, different streaming platforms are having like a lot better shows, but that was definitely like a badge of honor when Netflix was like top dog, like people who could like binge it in a day. Oh yeah, I watched it in a day. It's like, oh shit, you did? That's crazy. That was definitely something people like, was like, oh, you're a crazy person. I only got to half.
Now it's like, yo, do you have priorities in life? Like, do you have...
Right.
The answer is no.
I mean, during the pandemic, that was easy to do.
Oh, pandemic.
Yeah, that's true. That was all.
Pandemic. If you were late to watch something,
that's what I'm saying. That was like the thing to do, to watch the whole show in one sitting.
Like, what are you, an essential worker?
Like, what you mean you finished Tiger King?
An essential worker.
I am actually. I keep ending up at jobs where I'm an essential person. I was like, fuck, I don't get no time off.
Are you risking your life? Like, what?
Do you fuck with the Lord?
Oh, my 1 second, you son of a bitch.
A Star Wars podcast. Okay. Thank you. Anyways, as we like to say here, getting it back to Star Wars. My last bit on TOB1 is just
racist.
Other than the fact that it is now racist. I kind of like that they did the master like dying type trope that happens in like Star Wars, but it felt a little more like Uncle Owen and Luke as opposed to like Obi-Wan and Luke. But the main comparison that kept getting in my head is like, it's kind of like Pinocchio and Geppetto. Now you're just off Geppetto.
Mm-hmm. Astro Boy, Mega Man, Geppetto, Pinocchio.
Yeah. That, like, literally, it's not, is it Dr. Giro's the bad guy in Mega Man, right?
No, Dr. Giro's the Red Ribbon Army.
Oh my god, you're right.
I was like, he's in Mega Man too?
He working.
Oh my god, I can't get my shit together. Who's the bad guy in Mega Man? Why can't I think of...
He looks like
Dr. Light's the good guy, right?
Dr. Wily. Or
Dr. Wily's the bad guy.
Wily?
Dr. Light is the
I'm pretty
is the
sure.
good guy. Dr. Light is it's like they literally took his head and put it on TOB1's master, who I can't remember. Who it is.
That's facts.
Yeah, like the nose, everything, the structure's all there. They were just like, "Yep, this is it."
And look, Mike, the only reason why I knew the Mega Man bad guy is because I'm paying.
Because you're playing Battle Network. Right?
That's the only reason I remember.
Absolutely.
I will not take credit for like having that.
That's why I
in my
leaned on
archives.
you to fix my Dragon Ball mistake.
I got you.
The Red Ribbon Army? Shit.
Do you fuck with the war?
Do you steal people's land?
He does. He does. Still.
All right, let's move on to The Elder. This was also done by Studio Trigger, as mentioned before. So speaking of Stranger Things, David Harbour is the master, and Jordan Fisher, who, he's had a few roles, most notably recently being Impulse on the Flash TV show on CW, plays Dan, the apprentice who gets baked by the Elder that we see out in the wild. This was another instance, and Trav, I hope that you caught it as well, but
that's
Sith
the
Lord
kid who sang You're Welcome.
Oh yeah, yes,
From
he's
Moana.
in. Yes,
well,
yes,
the
yes.
end credit version of You're Welcome, not the one with the rock.
Yeah,
Moana always finds its way.
always. Well, you can't go near the water in this podcast. Everyone knows that.
Ever.
The Sith Lord in this one, the Elder, has two lightsabers that are also katana shaped, and I'm like,
Those were dope.
I don't know what it is. And Trav, there's this thing in Star Wars right now. It's called the Darksaber, and it's like the only lightsaber that has like an actual looking blade. It's not just like a beam of light.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that these types of designs make their way into Star Wars a little more. I don't know what it is. I just think it's really fucking cool looking.
I'm a sucker for them because all the Star Wars Visions episodes that have utilized them, I'm like, oh, this is fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dan is trash. Like in the beginning, he was not appreciative of all the different planets they were visiting. He was being sarcastic with his master, and then he thought he could take on the Elder by himself. Got waxed, got washed, and like this, and then
ass whooped.
And then even when he like quote unquote helped out in the end, I kind of feel like his master probably still would have been alright. I think he still would have been alright.
Shit, I could have turned him to dust solo, but I'll let you get some confidence.
Right. So yeah, and I mean, like I liked the animation of it and everything, but man, that story, I was just like, yo, this young boy need an ass whooping. Like he about to get cooked by the Elder. He about to get cooked.
So
and that's what happened.
Watching it back, Mike, didn't this fight, obviously it's 2 versus 1, but didn't like the terrain in the fight remind you of like Obi-Wan versus Darth? A
little bit. There was like there was parts of the planet to me that felt a lot like Naboo at nighttime. I know that sounds weird, but like it's kind of like the vibes I was getting. But Night Boo. But yeah, I definitely see the comparisons there. It just like felt like their terrain was like used for them. This is a deeper cut, but the fact that it was raining during their fight reminded me a lot of the 2003 Clone Wars microseries that aired on Cartoon Network.
That makes its way into this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, Anakin fighting Asajj Ventress in the rain. Like that was one thing that I was a little disappointed by the animation team on that. Like in the Genndy Tartakovsky one, like the rain's hitting the lightsaber blades and you see all the steam coming out from them. Yeah. Yep. And I was like, oh, that would have been a really nice touch for this. And they ended up not doing it. But I guess beggars can't be choosers, right? I got my katana lightsabers, so
you got to take what you can get.
Yeah, that micro series wasn't meant to be like HD. It was supposed to be what it was. You got what you were supposed to get.
For sure.
This is just some shit until the movie comes out. Here I go.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that Trigger did this one and they did the twins, and the animation styles both very good but very different. And I'm just like, this one to me felt like the most traditional anime looking short of all of them. Did you guys feel the same way, or was there like aspects of the art style that resonated with you in different ways?
It reminded me of Big O, like the animation style. It looked like Big O.
I was actually gonna say Avatar,
like the Last Airbender.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could definitely see that. it's actually in Visions Volume 2, the studio that did Legend of Korra has a short, and that's the one I think I'm most anticipating. Studio Mir.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to that. So bring on all the Avatar The Last Airbender references. Definitely fans of the show here. A lot of people don't know this, actually, but the showrunner who's like big, like Dave Filoni, who's, you know, synonymous with Star Wars now, he was the original showrunner of Avatar The Last Airbender.
Was
so he? Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I get pissed off when people are like, "Oh, this was a filler episode," and I'm like, "This man doesn't do filler episodes. Like, they all matter."
You're like, that's
every
not
single
in his
time.
DNA.
It's not in his DNA. Like, there's literally only one episode of filler, in my opinion, in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Yali like got mad at me and was like, "That episode was not filler." So if she's going to bat for it, then there's no filler in the show.
Yeah,
So, refresh my memories to which episode you thought the filler was.
They're like
'Cause
playing.
Mine
It's
is different than yours.
It's about two village fighting, like two village people. Like, there's two tribes fighting against each other, and it's all based off of like two brothers that were younger, and like one stole a ball from them when they were younger, and then Aang tells them, and he was like, "Oh, I was here for that fight. They weren't mad at each other. You guys are fighting over nothing." You think that the Fire Nation beach episode, that is not filler. I will go to bat 100% of the time. That is not filler.
I hear you.
Dude, when they're around the campfire and they have that super intense conversation where Zuko and Azula are...
Could happen anywhere.
Whatever.
Could have plopped that in a totally different place.
There's definitely some weirdo who's like, "But then we would have got to see Ty Lee in a bathing suit."
Definitely,
yeah, I'm sure.
said that. And he said it like that.
Yeah, exactly. I put on my weeb impression there for a second. My bad.
Mom. You sound like a boy off,
Muscle Man.
Yeah, that's what you sounded like.
I love that show. I love regular show.
The range.
Yeah. We'll get Mark Hamill voiced Skips in the regular show, so the Star Wars connections are everywhere.
Look, man. Look, they be thinking that we just be going on wild tangents. It's all connected.
No, it's all connected.
It's all connected.
So we find a way to bring it together.
Yeah,
all the time. All right, we can move on to Lop Ocho, done by Studio.
My second favorite one.
Geno Studio is... I think I was shocked at how strong of a narrative they were able to do in such a short episode like this.
Yeah.
But I really fucked with the story. It just, I don't know what it is. It's like, obviously, like, family is a big thing in Star Wars. So this, and there's like a really big emphasis around found family in a lot of Star Wars stories. So this one definitely hit those vibes. But I really cared about kind of like Lop's emotional stake in her adoptive family.
Facts.
And then on top of that, a lot of people don't. There's this character called Jackson who's like, he's a green rabbit who was like introduced in Star Wars comics, and it's kind of like a running joke, but people love that character. So for them to kind of like pay homage to that race of alien in this special was really cool for them to do.
It was like
Lop Ocho was dope.
it was like the Twins was the Sunday morning kids version, and then Lop Ocho was the Adult Swim late night.
The midnight run.
Yeah. This one was on Adult Swim, and the other one was on
Cartoon Network.
Cartoon Network. Yeah,
Facts.
that is such a good, like, what a fantastic call out. That's so accurate.
Hey, you
That's
know what?
like
Maybe
when-
that's why they had the Twins go first.
Yeah, fact. A little temp check.
Yeah. See,
But-
we'll do a little feel good one right here, and then we'll get a little bit deeper with a little bit later.
Nah, the reason why I like this one like the most, because Mikey, we talked about it a lot during our breakdown of like watching Kenobi and stuff, and even Book of Boba Fett to an extent. Like when you follow the main Star Wars narrative or the Skywalker series, it's you obviously like you see the Empire taking over and everything, and then the First Order, New Republic, all that fun stuff. But you always only ever see it from like the heavy hitters' perspectives, like the Skywalkers, the Solos, the Organics. So it's like how it affects like the people who are on the front lines, but you never get to see how it affected like all the civilizations of people who were like under the Empire, who were like being held down by the Empire. And Kenobi did a good job of showing like what people were going through when they were in charge. And I like with Lop Ocho, because I would imagine that like if a new entity takes over, you are gonna get some people, and Andor did really good with this too, who like, well, what, the Empire, they keep us safe. They put clothes on our back, they feed us. And then the other people like, Y'all niggas is trash.
No, they're oppressing the shit out of
They're
us. What
terrible. Like, their boots are on our necks as we speak. So,
Right.
So
I
y'all
like
really
how
like
they
them?
took that. Yeah, right. Do you know they take people's land? So I really like how they showed
They're
like
related
the
to
division in the
Christopher
household.
Some real colonizers over there.
Colin fucking Iser, son of a bitch.
Say, where
But
have
I
we heard
love
this
the
story
narrative.
before?
Right? Yeah, I love that narrative. That and I liked that it wasn't even that it wasn't like that Ocho wasn't like she was like deep in the Empire. Like it wasn't like oh hey, this like how Luke wanted to be, you know, a starfighter for the Empire. It wasn't like because there's nothing else to do, might as well. I don't know what I'm doing. Like
Right.
Ocho seemed to know. Like she was
bought
like,
in.
look, yeah, she fully bought in.
Yeah,
And
she
it was
cut off
just
her
like-
hair, did the blood oath. Yeah,
Yeah, shit, man.
She said, "I'm about it. This gang for life."
Gang, fucking gang.
You know what I'm saying?
Only way I get out is in a box.
The you or I, 10 feet deep.
Right? She said sworn in. She said I wasn't
got-
born in, I was
Father got
sworn
his
in.
other eye fucked up. Now he can't see none of them.
Nothing.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. To piggyback off your point, I have a note here. It says the political divide within the episode feels like a Thanksgiving dinner magnified under the lens of Star Wars and anime.
Big facts.
Yo, it's always Thanksgiving
Inappropriate
dinner
motif.
that you hear about like these sort of discussions. Like
Right.
it's you know, one of the best meals of the year. But let's talk about one of the worst things that we could possibly talk
Seriously.
about.
That's why it's always like,
Let's dig up deep dark family secrets.
Right.
yeah, I try to focus on football and Thanksgiving. Can we not? Can we like not talk about this shit? That's what
So I'm
feels
saying.
like
I'm
in
just
my
trying to
household.
sleep through the Lions Cowboys for the 500th time.
Bro.
That's it. That's,
The games have been historically trash for fucking so long.
Yo,
and you know what?
Thanksgiving football ain't been popping for a little bit.
and the funniest part about that is like I actually am not mad at that just because I don't like at least for me we'll do like early dinner but then like you eat throughout the day, like, you know, it's
Yeah.
not like you're one plate, you're done, you keep going back. So naturally I get the itis afterwards, so when I fall asleep I don't miss any good games. So you know what, keep putting these trash ass teams on there. There's like one good game,
Yeah, and it's never the
like-
Cowboys or Lions matchup.
no. but then they
It's like
always
the
end up
Bengals and the Texans.
they always do like the ultimate snoozers. Like remember the point in time where it felt like it was always Steelers Ravens and the final scores were like 9-6. It was just like, okay, all right. Like, y'all really want me to go to sleep now. Y'all really want me to go to sleep.
Terrible.
So-
That's such a gross matchup. Yeah,
It's disgusting.
Ravens.
It's disgusting. Even now, like it would still be disgusting. Like
Even the
Well,
colorway.
I would expect now that the Ravens would absolutely trounce the Steelers.
yeah, facts.
But
Facts.
that we're coming
I
right
like-
off the NFL draft, so expectations are high for a couple other teams.
Outside
True.
just outside the quality of the game, even the aesthetic, like black and yellow versus black and purple is just
Yeah.
gross.
at the end of the night, it just something about it. Just you're just like your eyes are just bleeding.
Yeah, it's like, ew. This is just not pleasant to look at.
All right,
And, like,
so
for
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no! I was just gonna close it. I was like, for some reason, just like the aesthetics of just seeing Jerry World, just like is with Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how.
I-
Speaking of colors, like that's how I feel about like if I ever were to be in the NBA, I would not want to play for the Spurs. I hate their fucking arena, bro. I get tired. I'd be sleepy. I'd be lethargic the whole game,
It's
bro.
so dark in
dull
here.
as hell.
I hate the Spurs arena, bro.
It's like the morgue of NBA arenas.
That's where careers go to die.
Now that Tim Duncan's gone, there's not much hope.
It's the worst. They have the worst colorway. It's just like, ugh.
Their throwback jerseys are tough, but
No, 1000%.
but they
Like,
never use them.
the floor is disgusting.
All right, so the ultimate fusion of our quote-unquote podcast network at present, I have the two hosts from Dragon Ball for Life, so I gotta ask you, how do you guys feel about a Star Wars anime having a scouter in it? Because that was the first thing I thought of when I saw it. I was like, I need to ask Matt and Trav about this.
Never.
It's the lightsaber power is over 9,000.
That can't be. It's not true.
I'm surprised, it actually hasn't been more utilized in the Star Wars realm.
I agree. I'm like so the Mandalorians.
It'd be a very easy thing to put in.
100%. The Mandalorians technically have like a thing on their helmet that they like push down, but like I kind of want to see people with scouters in Star Wars. Like it needs to happen.
Even that outside of the Mandalorian the show, it's very rare that you see any Mandalorian put their scouter going down. Like it's just be up. Like,
they definitely do it more in animation than they do it in live action stuff. But I want to see like actual scouters in Star Wars now. I think it fits the universe pretty well.
It's about time.
I'm not gonna hold you though. Episode 9, I won't say it's my least favorite. It's the one that had like the smallest impression on me. Like it was like the one that was just like, meh. Like had Tatooine Rhapsody not existed, that would probably have been my least favorite one. And it wasn't even because it was bad. Like the storyline was cool. Like the fact that it was like more anime style animation was cool. And everything was just like terrible decision to close with that one. Like it left me wanting more. Like I was like because like when you have it on autoplay, it just kind of goes. So like when it went on 9, and then for some reason it always wants you to watch Andor after any Star Wars show. Andor's always the suggestion.
That's how you know that Matt and I watch way too much Star Wars. Is that we both knew the show that it recommends to you, no matter what you've watched recently. That when it ends, it kicks you to Andor.
Takes you to the Andor page every time.
Which, to be fair, is a phenomenal show, but also maybe suggest something a little more relevant to what I just watched.
please. Like I just watched Aladdin. Like why is Andor my next stop? But yeah, I will say like Tatooine Rhapsody being the worst was what like each story left me with something. Like like I loved the twins that fight. The Village Bride was like action wise was par to none. The Ninth Jedi was my favorite one overall. Toby was racist.
Your name is Toby.
But yeah, that episode 9, it didn't give me anything. Like I was just like, meh. It left me with the like, oh, that was it? That was the last episode? Like I went looking. I was like, there's got to be another one after this.
All right, I'm glad you felt that because I don't know if it was because I was binging them, but like once I got there, I was like, it was tofu. Like. It wasn't bad. It wasn't wasn't good. It was
serviceable.
Yeah,
for sure. I thought that the twist ending was like a little devastating, but then they bring her back to life, and I was like, okay. Well,
it was Jimmy Garoppolo. It was a serviceable episode.
Sure, that's 100% great analogy.
It was a stopgap quarterback for Star Wars.
Yeah, it was a serviceable episode.
Say, you know what? Then Volume 2 is gonna be the big bang. So season 1. Episode 9 is Alex Smith, and season 2 is about to be Patrick Mahomes.
There you go.
All right, we got it. We're about to be in for a banger. Episode 1 of Volume 2.
Highly rated coming out of college, but replaced by an infinitely better quarterback. Got it.
Episode 9 was the Phillip Rivers of Visions. it had the promise. It might win you some playoff series, but it's not going to get you the big one.
Nah, right. Not quite there. There's a few like highlights. I thought outside the duel, this one felt the most inspired by like samurai films, and you could really feel it throughout the thing. The two like jokey characters, I think, are meant to mirror like R2D2 and C-3PO's role in Star Wars, but that they were influenced heavily by samurai films. Like apparently that's a huge thing where you see it through. I don't want to call them like bumbling idiots, but like that's kind of like the trope is that they're
Bulk and Skull.
Yeah, exactly. Bulk and Skull. We're hitting Power Rangers references now. We've completely gone off the rails. I don't even care.
How about their music when they would always come in?
Gotta add that to our. Sound bar.
I mean, if we want to talk racist, how about Black Ranger always had a little like hip hop tune for when he was
hip hop keto, bro. What you mean? That was the fighting style. That was the fighting style. Hip hop keto, getting it in. Shout out to
I also liked the after images of like the lightsaber blades, where it felt like the animation was. It was moving so fast that it was moving slow. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a little
Final
nice
Fantasy
touch.
15X.
Exactly. When Noctis is jumping all over the place, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think from an animation standpoint, great job by Studio Signed Saru, but this one ultimately, felt like kind of like a, oh, that's it? Okay.
Ooh,
that one should have. What was that, Matt?
Breaking news. Joel Embiid is not playing.
I'm not surprised.
No. Why do we always have bad news when we
Every time we record, some sports alert comes in.
Yeah. I was having a great productive podcast, and then this.
Sorry, buddy.
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't think he was. I don't think he was playing tonight.
Last time
says there is optimism of return for Game 2.
Man,
that's good.
They can suck my dick. If for anyone listening, I'm an exhausted Sixers fan. Okay, it's just this happens every single year. I was going into the playoffs saying, they're a second round exit until they prove me otherwise. And you know what? I don't like being right. And right now, it looks like I could be right. I don't want to be right. I don't.
The saddest part about all this, and I was saying this because I'm from Philly, lived here my whole life, but I was born in the '90s, so I grew up an MJ fan, so I was a Bulls fan in my formative years, and then that led right into me being a LeBron fan since St. Vincent St. Mary's days before he got to the league. So I've never been a Sixers fan. Literally every other Philly sports team, diehard. So I bleed orange, green, Philly red, Union, navy blue, like all that shit. See, the Bantams, like I fucked with the Bantams, the Soul, all that. But I've never been a Sixers fan. But I root for the home team when they're around. But I was saying to some of my fellow Sixers, some of Sixers fans that I'm close with, like, this was a make or break season because I don't see, because it's I've been under the opinion, Trav, that they weren't beating the Celtics. That was just kind of been my take, especially with JoJo hurt. I was just like, they don't have enough to beat the Celtics. I don't see how he doesn't try to force his way out after this. Especially, I feel like it's written in the stars with Miami putting in work. If Philly gets knocked out of the second round again, JoJo's going to try to force his way out. He's going to try to go to Miami, and it's going to be like Bam and Tyler Hero and maybe some draft compensation for Joel Embiid.
I mean, I've been saying that at the back of my mind, but I feel like, I just feel like another year of being hurt again, like, you're part of the reason why we're getting eliminated.
1,000%.
And like JoJo is probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite current players in the league right now. But like, I'm not one of these Sixers apologists and I didn't mean to take over the podcast with Sixers talk, so I'll keep it
the rain. We capture it all here. We'll find a way to bring it back to Star Wars.
I'm not one of those Sixers apologists where I'm going to be like, oh, well, but he's hurt. Yeah, well, like, I get it. Like, I'm not saying that he's got a forced through injury. I'm just saying the reality of his career has been great regular season player, but can't stay healthy in the playoffs. And that's not.
Yeah, we can't be out here being like, "Help me, B-ball Paul, you're my only hope."
Right? Yeah, it's not like a knock necessarily against him as like a player who's like on the court. It's just a knock on just his availability to be on the court. So, but I mean, him and Jimmy been thirsting for each other since Jimmy left. Like, Joel tweeting about Jimmy during the playoffs while you're still in the playoffs, that was nasty, man. Like, come on, man. Like, I get it, y'all are good friends, but like, you're still in the playoffs. Like, don't like.
I mean, Joel was the chosen one. He was supposed to destroy the Celtics, not eventually join them, but based off
my dad. That's my dad. He's the chosen one. Put some respect on his name. Going for ring five on the way.
So I mean, I even though that I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, I don't think it would. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. And if I were forced to watch a team that had Tyler Hero and Scam Adebayo, I'm going full Rob Lowe and just wearing an NBA hat, NBA gear. I'm a free agent.
Just gonna be a basketball fan.
Yeah,
I'm just a basketball.
I just love the game of basketball. I love the game of basketball.
We won't turn this into a sports podcast.
But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But anyways,
Is Tyrese Maxey a new hope? I don't know. Return of the JoJo? Is that what's going to happen?
Listen, he has to be the new hope for them to get out of against Boston.
Yes. If they do trade for Tyler Hero, it'll be Revenge of the Sixth Man.
There you go.
There you go. That's a good way. That's a good way to cap it off.
All right. So all in all, Visions Volume 1. I think some cool stuff in there. A lot of cool animation styles. But I am hyped for Volume 2. I think they're going bigger, bolder, and they're also, I think, gonna based off the trailer, lean into some of the animation styles more. We got some Wallace and Gromit type stuff coming at us.
I'm so
very excited for the studio mirror, John. I think it's going to be great to see. And then there's an Indian studio. Matt and I talked about kind of like our pulses on this on our Star Wars Celebration news episode. But hopefully we come to you next week with a little more enthusiasm for some of these shorts. Because it was all downhill after the Ninth Jedi, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I just want to say...
We talked about Lop Ocho pretty positively.
Overall, I did enjoy it all. I just, there was a couple duds. But hey, that's what happens in all shows. Not all shows are going to be fire all the way through.
Yeah.
So,
and I think go ahead.
I was just going to say, so in its totality, did we prefer the front four or the back five?
I'm going to say front four.
It's tough. It's tough because I feel like
two of my three favorite ones are in the back five, but like the front four was very strong. Like if you take Tatooine Rhapsody out of the front four, it's like perfection. Hey.
I feel like if I have to pick between the two,
I'm a sucker for the Village Bride, so that is weighing heavily. But the Duel and the Twins are still really good shorts, even though I don't like the voice acting for the twins.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the front four just because love Village Bride, loved the Ninth Jedi, and I thought the Duel was really cool from an animation standpoint, the very first one. So yeah, I'll probably go first four.
Because I'm a disruptor, I'm just gonna go back five.
That's fine because you got the Ninth Jedi and Lop Ocho, and those were
shout out
really
to
strong.
the 30-year-old that said we don't disagree. So there you go, buddy.
You got an invite off.
I brought them here to fight. I brought them here to fight.
Right now, I've been invited by two different podcasts under our MCU umbrella.
Please come or argue with us about Star Wars. I will just completely eviscerate you. So I'll make you like things you thought you didn't like and hate things you thought you didn't hate.
Big facts. The human holocron at its very best.
Right.
Darth Plagueis the mic. I didn't have my drum queued up.
We'll be on top of it next time.
Look, fact though.
For sure. Maybe we'll upload a few of our own little sounders in there. All right, you have been listening to Anirioke, a Star Wars podcast.
A Star Wars podcast. Now I'm in on that now, so I'm gonna do it all each time.
He's gonna hit me the next couple times. Matt, Trav, great having you on. Travis, tell them where the people can find you. Matt, close it out with our socials, and we'll roll things out here and get people on with their day on May the 4th be with you, and then definitely be covering Visions Volume 2 in the coming weeks. So, Trav, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on both Instagram and Twitter at TrollTollTrav. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We know what
Don't
you're
friend
saying.
me on Facebook because I don't use that shit unless it's for birthdays.
As a friend of his, he's serious. He's never on there.
And if I don't know you, I'm not accepting the request.
I have no shame. You can send me a request. I'll accept them. Trying to build up my social networking. But I shameless plug myself on all of these podcasts. So you can always find me the same places that you can find Mikey and Trav. You can locate all of us in some capacity at DB4L_pod. And it's the Annie Are You Okay podcast?
It's Annie Are You Okay pod, yeah.
Boom. There we go. So I'll be both those places at all times. What we got coming up,
He
guys?
lives and breathes there. He doesn't leave it.
I don't leave there.
We got interviews lined up for DB4L.
Oh, yeah, we got some
very exciting stuff. We can't say right now, but let's just put it this way. Our villain school might be like, a small little tease at something we got going on.
Kind of got a big heavy hitter.
I was just trying to...
Got a big heavy hitter coming out of that graduation class.
little hint coming over there. I was just trying to be, a little...
We got something.
A little sneaky, but that was terrible by me. So
we cook. Look, man, it's always a pleasure working with you, gentlemen. We've been putting in that work. The hardest working podcast group in the industry of anybody.
I dare anybody to try to say They were
That we
not.
not. I was about to take not so very subtle shots. we gonna close this bad boy out.
Oh, we're
This
taking the
has
high road
been-
out? Okay.
This has been Andy. Are you okay?
A Star Wars podcast.
A Star Wars podcast.
Thank you. May the 4th be with you.
And
We'll see
may the
you.
4th be with you. Goodbye there.
And we are out. Boba Fett out.
Bitches.